tool, 20, 30 times more DNA.
We're able to charge him with murder because of the DNA.
If something like that happened to one of my daughters, I want the person who's responsible to pay for it.
Murder Decoded. All new next Saturday at 9. Only on ID and ID Go.
Here's another cleaning tip from Mr. Clean. Cleaning tough bathroom and kitchen messes with sprays and wipes can be a struggle. There's an easier way. Try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Just wet, squeeze, and erase tough messes like bathtub soap scum and caked on grease from oven doors. Now Mr. Clean Magic Eraser comes in disposable sheets. They're perfect for icky messes on stovetops, in microwaves, and all over the house. For an amazing clean, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. And now, new Mr. Clean Magic Eraser sheets.
Looking to simplify your skincare routine without sacrificing results? Try Olay Total Effects for a 7-in-1 solution. Its unique formula is packed with vitamin B3, E, and C to naturally renew skin cells for a visibly healthy glow. In fact, a single dose provides more vitamin B3 than 50 cups of kale, which is proven to improve 7 key areas of visibly healthy skin. Save time and money on your skin routine with Olay Total Effects. Brand power helping you buy better.
It's the last place you would expect anything to happen.
911. I don't know what to do. Oh, God, please, God.
My knees, I just couldn't believe it.
Murder in the Heartland. All new season Sunday, April 14th at 9. Only on ID and ID Go. All the good love.
Spring, summer. Yeah, I hate that. I hate this. Just pop up. All I gotta do is press up one time and that shit just gone. Start trapping.
In the Hardin County Courthouse, it is Zach Adams' turn to defend himself. His attorney, Jennifer Thompson, calls a cell phone expert. He determines that although Zach Adams' phone may have been in the same place as Holly Bobo's at times on the day of the crime, at other times that day, Zach and Holly's phones were far apart.
At 8:17, Holly's phone is over in this area, and at 8:16, Zach Adams' phone is over here, and they're miles apart. Okay?
But it's not just about creating reasonable doubt. Thompson is shooting for reasonable certainty that the real killer was someone else. For assistance, she turns to Terry Dicus, the former lead investigator removed from the case because of an unwavering belief that his old nemesis, Terry Britt, is the predator who murdered Holly. In your opinion, what is the strongest evidence implicating Terry Britt?
He's the kidnapping rapist in Decatur County. He's the one that would be willing to do this.
Aside from his notorious rap sheet, you'll recall that Britt had a wafer-thin alibi, and the cadaver dogs alerted on his car.
Who has human decomposition on 2 of their cars and 4 of the tools in their shed? Who has that? Zach didn't have that. Shane Austin didn't have that.
Dicus makes his case to the jury.
Terry Britt has black hair. He weighs 200 pounds and he's 6 foot tall. So I got on to him because, number one, he is the exact size of what our witness said the abductor looked like. He's capable of kidnapping her.
On cross-examination, he's forced to admit he knows nothing of the developments in the case in the years since he left the TBI.
But you can't tell us anything about the 3 and 4 years after that.
You're right. I don't know what y'all done since then.
And now, the showstopper. Here's Terry Britt himself, brought in straight from the penitentiary to testify in court.
Would you tell the jury what you're currently incarcerated for?
Kidnapping temporary.
Britt has not forgotten Terry Dicus, the agent who hounded him for years.
You know what, Dicus is still a TBI agent?
No, he lost his job. I wish he'd get on food stamps. He almost destroyed my life.
But defense attorney Jennifer Thompson hopes to convince the jury Terry Britt should be on trial here.
But the judge, just let him say what he want to say. What you doing?
Police showed up at your house to talk with you. The first thing you said to them was, "I didn't rape nobody," didn't you?
Right.
And that's before they even said anything to you about what was going on, isn't it?
That's right.
Because you had already heard that there was a woman missing.
That's right.
It's role reversal in the courtroom. The prosecutor, practically holding her nose, has to shoot down this defense ploy by proving Britt is innocent of this particular crime.
After searching up your house, taking your cars, taking your computers, bugging your phone, bugging your house, were you charged with anything to do with Holly Bobo's case? Did you kidnap, rape, murder Holly Bobo?
No, I didn't. I ain't no girl. Never seen her in my life that I know of.
So, after all that, you still have to be here today, still answering questions about something that happened in 2011.
It's like your camera back there, they're going to plaster me with lies on me from here to China again.
Did you have any doubt at all that they had charged the rape people?
No.
None. You never ever thought there's a chance it could be Terry Britt?
Why'd I even have to hear about Terry Britt?
In closing arguments, prosecutors remind the jury no physical evidence connected Terry Britt to the crime.
Not a drop of blood, not a hair, not anything at all that connected him to Holly Bobo.
Of course, there's no blood or hair connecting Zach Adams to the crime either. And in her closing, Thompson does her best to torpedo the prosecution's case.
There's no motive for Zach to have done this. The government wants you to believe Zach is guilty based on mere suspicion and rumor. In this country, we do not convict based on mere suspicion and rumor. Terry Britt is most likely the real abductor and killer of Holly Bobo.
Huh?
10 days after the trial began, the jury is given the case. It takes them just 11 hours to reach a decision. They find Zach Adams guilty on all counts.
You wish you did. You wish you did.
The Bobo family agrees with the prosecutor to allow Adams to avoid the death sentence. A mercy they believe he did not show their daughter.
There ain't nothing fall out. Come on, man. Come on.
Prison without the possibility of
So, come on, show me some proof then. Where the proof at?
Enough punishment for you?
Proof?
There'll never be
Proof?
You don't deserve to be breathing today.
After sentencing, the woman who taught
Like watching Ed with no Eddie.
insists that he pay attention once again.
Can you back up just a little bit?
I grew up with y'all. I grew up watching y'all all my life.
And I know that she begged for her life.
Eddie.
Because my daughter loves and enjoys life.
Eddie or something.
But you chose to take that from her.
Bobo has a memento of Holly that she keeps close. It's her daughter's promise ring, recovered in the woods with her remains. The last moments of the trial belong not to the judge or the jury, or even to Zach Adams. They belong to Holly Bobo.
She was raised in a Christian home.
Nickelodeon.
Love and laughter. There'll be nothing anymore for all of us. Because there's a piece of us that will always be missing.
As she wrote in her song, Whitney Duncan says their family knows Holly is in a better place.
I think of her every day. Hearing somebody talk about it, or coming home and seeing the signs and seeing her picture. It makes me sad. I don't want to be sad. I want to think about the happy times that I have with her.
As of 2019, Zach Adams is appealing his conviction, and he has an ally. Terry Dykes, the former TVA agent who was taken off the case, is now working as a defense attorney and filed an affidavit alleging that Jason Autry committed perjury during Zach Adams' trial. Dylan Adams later took an Alford plea in which he did not admit guilt, but acknowledged the prosecution had enough evidence to convict him. He will serve 35 years for facilitation of first-degree murder and aggravated kidnapping. As for Jason Autry, as of 2019, it is still undecided whether he will take a plea deal or go to trial. I'm John Quinones. Please join us next time for another edition of 2020
Who, a celebrity?
on ID.
Who? Celebrity?
No.
Today, Atlanta's downtown Shanghai is the capital of the New South.
I think Atlanta right now is a melting pot for entertainment and business.
Well, he's getting fucked all in between his ass and his own pits.
The South is what they call it because people film
Look.
so much TV here.
Look how gay he is. Look, everybody getting tapped in the back.
It's an amazing city. It's a place where a lot of people come to thrive. A lot of African Americans come and thrive.
Just like Chocolate City, man. When you come here, you can make it.
But as the city that's too busy to hate looks forward to a bright future, Atlanta harbors a dark secret that happened 40 years ago and still haunts the people who lived through it.
Man, you got the closet straight. What you doing with it? What you doing to it now?
Even though that these crimes occurred. From 1979 to 1981, the city of Atlanta dealt with the unthinkable.
All the children are between 8 and 15 years of age. The bodies of black children keep turning up in the woods.
And I walked over and it was a human skull.
And the rivers.
This latest death is apparently connected to the others.
More than 2 dozen victims.
The person who did this was a psychopath or a monster.
I was holding on to her body. Sam, what did they do to you?
Families are devastated.
The one person you had, he's gone. I didn't get to say goodbye.
And long simmering tensions reach the boiling.
Atlanta was on the borderline of exploding.
It has to be the police. Who else could pull this kind of stuff off?
It could possibly be the Ku Klux Klan killing these black kids.
It's like, okay, they're trying to start a race war.
At the root of it all is racism.
Everybody was a suspect.
Changes
That's a body hitting the water.
Listen, do you know why we stopped? Yeah, it's about the murder of those children, isn't it?
It's the trial of the century.
They know how you can hide, you can hit it, get the dick out your ear.
Parents and family members still have questions.
And it just hurt so bad. She just so forgot. Along with the other kids, so forgotten.
Was justice ever truly served?
When you look back over the story,
Their case
You can throw it away.
investigated and is
Pour me some lemonade in here.
one day,
Pour it. Yeah, he poured it in.
This marks the 8th time a body has been discovered in a river.
Police are still looking into the murders of at least 4 other young people.
All the children are between certain ages, 8 and 15 years of age.
Today there was yet another funeral. The 20th child found slain. Another young boy was found dead. Investigators are stuck.
I just want my little girl found safely and brought home. I miss her and I love her.
The raspberry. That's where y'all live today.
Tallest building when I got here, November 11, 1970. It was 24 stories tall. Now, if you look at the Atlanta skyline, it's absolutely dwarfed by everything around it. In 1972, through the end of the 70s and into
You can fill that up.
it was on the verge of the population.
And then use it, pour it out on top of that.
This day,
It's kind of strange to think about it now, but when you look at 73, 74, 75, it was basically just a decade since the major civil rights bill. So there was this real kind of sense of a metamorphosis in the South was taking place.
Atlanta was somehow spared from all of the real turmoil of the 60s.
I remember one of the first stories that I did when I came down here was a story about African Americans moving back to the South.
In 1973, the growing black population votes in the first black mayor, Maynard Jackson.
Poorer communities put their faith and trust in Maynard and were a big part of his winning that first election.
One of the first things Maynard Jackson does is reshape the police force.
He wanted the police department to become more brown, was the term he used. Up until that time, it had been mainly a white force.
The department was still racist, still discriminatory. This I know from personal experiences and things I had to encounter. And then Maynard Jackson becoming mayor, it gave us hope that things would change.
In 1978, Mayor Jackson appoints Lee Brown as the Commissioner of Public Safety and George Napper as the police chief. Change is on its way. Despite the strong economic growth, the black population of the city remains very poor. A serious crime problem develops that makes Atlanta the murder capital of the United States.
Every year was 240 murders plus per year. This is like working in a assembly line of murder. July 28, 1979, Niski Lake Road, there's nothing there. It's just woods, briars, brush. Somebody's looking for aluminum cans out here in this deserted stretch of road south of Atlanta and stumbles upon the remains of a decomposing body. So we work the scene and somebody says, well, let's do a concentric search. So everybody fans out. And within a few minutes, somebody walks up on another body. They look to be like younger black men or boys.
One of the boys has been shot in the upper back, the other strangled. The bodies are later identified as 14-year-old Edward Smith and 13-year-old Alfred Evans.
The probability was bodies have been dumped there, but nobody really jumped to the conclusion that the bodies had been dumped by the same person. And these are not cases that are going to be front page news.
The police have no leads. Over the next 3 months, 2 other boys, 14-year-old Milton Harvey and 9-year-old Yusuf Bell, go missing while running errands. Milton's body is found 12 miles from where he disappeared. The cause of death unknown. Yusuf is found in an abandoned school, strangled.
But the strange thing about the discovery of Yusuf's body, his feet had been washed or something, and so that initially set off thoughts that somebody may have been abducting these kids in some kind of strange, ritualistic religious ceremony.
It's amazing how it's been almost 40 years and yet it seems like yesterday because the pain is still the same. You know, nothing is the same. I thought as time go on that, you know, it would be less and less, but it's not. I cried just as much today as I did the day it happened. My daughter, Angel, was very different. She was different than any child that I've even known. When I had her, they said that your baby is the only baby in the nursery that does not cry. And she said, she is just an angel. You need to name her Angel. I didn't worry about Angel. She was coming of age. She was 12. Everything was okay until Angel started looking real sad. And I asked her, what's the matter? And she said, oh, nothing. My son said, well, I'm going to tell you, Mom. Angel had a dream that something bad's going to happen. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. And I started crying. Angel, is someone threatening you? She said, just leave it alone, Mom, please.
On March 4th, 1980, Angel is late getting home. It's only 6 p.m., and she hasn't returned from school.
I said, what the hell is going on? Something ain't right. This is not like Angel. I always know where she is. I just knew something wasn't right. I just knew it. So I called the police. I begged them. Someone has gotten her. I haven't had no sleep at all. I said, we would walk out and walk till my ankles got sore and swollen. 6 days had passed, and I just cried and screamed and cried, couldn't sleep. And then a knock came at my door.
It's worse than anything a mother could imagine. A neighbor tells Venus that her daughter's body was found tied to a tree and that she's being taken to the morgue.
I was holding on to her body, saying, what did they do to you? What did they do to you? And the lacerations were around her neck. 8 marks, like a rope or something had been around her neck. And all I can picture is, what kind of torture did she go through? And then I couldn't take no more. I just couldn't take no more. God, I miss you so much. I miss you so much like it was yesterday. I just couldn't figure out why. Just why my child, all kids, why? And then I found out my child wasn't the only child.
This is why you do it. The big smiles those little surprises can bring. Kinder Joy is a simple way to add surprise to your kid's day. Look for it in the candy aisle where Kinder Joy now comes in 3s.
At Safe Light Auto Glass, we really pride ourselves on making it easy to get your windshield fixed. With Safe Light, you can see exactly when we'll be there, saving you time for what you love most. Last one.
For chopping that wood, you deserve the sweet reward of the Diet Dr. Pepper.
That is sweet.
Well, sweet's got a split. Diet Dr. Pepper. It's the sweet one.
Did you know that 4 out of 5 homeowners draw a blank when asked what their home projects should cost? That's why Home Advisor created a national database of home project costs, so you can easily see what others pay for similar projects in your area. Then you can get matched with top-rated pros and read their reviews, all for free. Start your next home project knowing what you should pay. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app.
Energize your weight loss with Slim Fast Advanced Energy, giving you energy for hours. See results in just 1 week. And now, introducing new Slim Fast Keto. Text KETO-EZ to 44222 for exclusive offers.
I've had a chronic issue since my early 20s. My option was either using the medications or just dealing with it. Apex M changed my life. I am living the kind of life that I wish I could have been living in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. I cannot recommend this product highly enough to anyone. That's how much I believe in it.
Get your life back with Apex M. Call 1-877-973-0422 or visit getapexm.com.
The following message is brought to you by
mesobook.com. People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? We need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-500-5950 or go to mesobook.com.
Shot and there was possible fatals. The suspects still might be in the area.
To the wealthiest estates. Residents of our community, they're not used to this type of crime. Only these detectives. It was a gruesome crime scene. Could solve Philadelphia's toughest cases.
What happened to these people? Why were they murdered?
Homicide City. All new season premieres Wednesday at 10. Only on ID and ID Go.
If I would have known it was the last time that I would see her alive, I would never have left.
Tuesday on an all-new Never Say Goodbye.
How could she be murdered in a quiet community?
There was a lot of rage to do that to this young lady.
I brought a picture of Linda, and I said, this is who you are fighting for.
You go to bed at night thinking about it. It weighs heavy on you.
It felt like somebody took my heart and ripped it out.
Never Say Goodbye. All new. Tuesday at 9 on ID and ID Go.
It was an incredible story. Everybody around the world wanted to know what has happened to Madeline.
Madeline McCann disappeared while her family were just steps away.
Kate McCann raced out of the apartment screaming, Madeline's gone, Madeline's gone. Police wondered who Kate meant when she said they have taken Madeline. Is someone withholding some important information?
Madeline McCann, an ID murder mystery. All new special tonight at 9 on ID and ID Go.
People just didn't care about these poor black kids. And it still happens today. There have been recent incidents from Washington, D.C. to Chicago, Illinois, of young black kids who have disappeared, who have been murdered, and we still don't know what happened in many of these cases, and they're not national news stories.
Right here.
We've grown that much, even in 40 years.
Right.
Where the value of black lives of a certain status are that more valued today than they were 40 years ago.
Police are still looking into the murders of at least 4 other young people, all reported missing, all discovered killed.
Angel Lanire's death goes largely unnoticed in the media. She is the 5th child under 14 to go missing and to be found murdered in the last 7 months.
Up to that time, I don't believe that that was a situation of a child running away from home or being missing that we were not able to close the case. But all of a sudden now, they're being found dead.
You gonna sit there and do that the whole time? You gonna come here and get the blunt, babe?
Are connected.
You gonna come in here and get this blunt? You can continue that. Why you got this blunt in your hand? I don't understand. What's so important in there? Just cleaned up in there.
Detectives Bob Buffington and Danny Egan, who start to question that.
We kept what was called a homicide book, just one paragraph about each victim. And we started running into more children who were being killed and dumped. We were saying, this isn't right. I mean, we've never had anything like this. I found that there was a significant difference between the last 2 years and that year. And so I wrote it up in a letter, and I sent it to our major. Later, I saw the major in the hallway, and he said, you like to work homicide? I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, well, how'd you like to work auto theft morning watch? He said, if I see another letter like this, that's what you're going to be doing. So he was just not open for a serial murder in Atlanta.
There was a lot of discussion about who could be committing these murders of young black children.
Despite parents of the victims pressing Commissioner Lee Brown for a broad investigation of the incidents, they are still viewed as unrelated. But the rumors on the street keep growing.
stories were going around that police officers were murdering children.
It has to be the police. Who else could go in and out of these communities unchecked and pull this kind of stuff off? Who could do that? It could possibly be the Ku Klux Klan killing these, black kids, because that's the only link between all of them. As a black little boy, I was terrified.
I saw with my own 2 eyes the Ku Klux Klan march down Old National Highway.
I would always hear about Stone Mountain is the KKK headquarters, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where they do all the rallies and burn the crosses.
You have to understand that here in Atlanta, this is the Klansman's headquarters here. And so what of a better place than to take them here from Atlanta, Georgia? If you're going to rob them here.
The oldest and most infamous of America's hate groups, the Ku Klux Klan, saw a resurgence in the 60s to oppose the civil rights movement.
When you look back at the 70s and the early 80s, most of the civil rights murders of the previous decade were still unsolved. You still had that aura of terrorism.
Right.
It was very recent in people's minds. It had a racial angle to it. It could have been a Klan.
There might have been some fragments of some Claibornes.
The hate group is still regularly in the headlines, leaving lasting fears among the black community in Atlanta.
You hear in the streets, well, it's probably the KKK, or it's probably some hate group or whatever that's doing this thing.
And so the Atlanta PD, we're sort of starting way behind the starting blocks to face this situation of child deaths.
By the start of May 1980, 5 black children from 9 to 14 have been found dead, and another, 10-year-old Jeffrey Mathis, has been missing for 2 months. Police have made no arrests, and there are no solid suspects.
I think these cases, they sort of underscored, like, that kind of disparity, the sort of two-tiered sort of society that we lived in. Just the notion that these lives weren't as valuable. The phrase that people use for so many of these kids, they were like throwaway kids. Literally, kill them and throw them in the underbrush, and nobody will know or care.
Gary Middlebrooks and his younger brother, Eric, grew up in one of the poorer sections of southeast Atlanta in the late 1960s. Eric is mainly raised by foster parents.
I thought he was a bright kid, he and I talked. I spent a lot of time with just playing with him, and we'd watch TV together. But, when you grow up financially disenfranchised, you sort of view the world a little bit differently.
Right. Right.
By 1979, 14-year-old Eric is living with his foster father, Robert Miller.
I talked with Eric on the phone. I love my brother, he loved me, he enjoyed seeing me. And periodically I'd hear about, somebody getting killed. It really didn't hit me that the people that they were describing dead were kids.
May 19th, 1980, and shortly before 7 a.m., we get a call for any homicide car. Bob was the lead detective.
It was an alleyway behind the place where they picked the dumpsters up, and that's where he had been dumped. On the scene, it was a bit odd because there was a bicycle with 2 flat tires. And one of the first things we noticed as we approached the bicycle was change. Pennies, nickels, dimes. Then there was the body of a small boy. He looked a bit ruffled. He was lying on his back. He could have fallen off his bicycle or been shot or something like that. He had injuries to his neck. He had
3 superficial stab wounds to his breastplate and pretty significant injury to the head. Was it a robbery? We had no idea what it was.
As the detectives look closer at the victim, evidence they find will change the course of the investigation.
What I'm thinking in my mind is, once people accept the fact you have all of these deaths, and this could be a pattern,
That's right.
and this could be a serial offender.
Try Canada Dry, ginger ale and lemonade. Are you ready to taste?
Sir, you should not be found.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. The wonderful sounds of nature. Try Canada Dry, ginger ale and lemonade. Now invite it.
Sometimes bipolar 1 disorder makes you feel like you can do it all. But mania, such as unusual changes in your mood, activity, or energy levels, can leave you on shaky ground. Help take control by asking your healthcare provider about Vraylar. Vraylar treats acute mania of bipolar 1 disorder. Vraylar significantly reduces overall manic symptoms and was proven in adults with mixed episodes who have both mania and depression. Vraylar should not be used in elderly patients with dementia due to increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. High cholesterol, weight gain, high blood sugar, and decreased white blood cells, both of which can be serious or fatal. Dizziness upon standing, falls, seizures, impaired judgment, heat sensitivity, and trouble swallowing may occur. Ask if Vraylar can help you get on track.
Travel and dining just go together.
Just like a shoot too.
Kayak and OpenTable lets you earn travel rewards every time you dine. With just one reservation on OpenTable, you can start saving money on hotels with Kayak. Get started at kayak.com/dining rewards.
The victim was last seen alive around 7 p.m. We were able to put together a timeline.
There was a very short window to identify who committed this murder. From 4 o'clock to 9:54 p.m. All roads led back to one person. Killing time. Only you. Thursday at 10. Only on Investigation Discovery. Tuesday on an all-new Deadly Recall.
Something bad happened at this particular gas station that I'll never forget.
My son was working alone that night. I get a call from the police, and they asked me if I knew where she was.
We don't have the body. We found the palm print in blood. Right now, we don't know whether we have a homicide or not. We needed to find the victim as quick as we could and maybe save her.
Deadly Recall, all new Tuesday at 10. Only on ID and ID Go.
I have tremendous respect for the families who come in to talk to us. It's extremely painful for families to have to relive their tragedies, but it is so important that victims' voices aren't silenced, and that's why they come.
On the Case with Paul is on, all new, next Sunday at 10, only on Investigation Discovery. Stream live and catch up on ID Go. Download the free app now.
They got engaged rather quickly, which upset the whole family.
Monday on the series premiere of Unbreakable.
Scott played the perfect guy, but if you watch closely, his real personality come out. Lori's had her breaking point. She's leaving him. Scott began harassing my sister.
We're trying to break into the house. I'm laying there, and then I saw his hand in his pocket.
Unbreakable, Live to Tell, series premiere, Monday at 9, only on ID and ID Go.
There have been other murders of black children that have gone unsolved, but police do not think that this murder is connected.
On May 18th of 1980, detectives Bob Buffington and Danny Aiken are on the scene of the murder of an unidentified 14-year-old boy.
So we got down on the body. He had on a little tennis shoe. It had a rubber bumper around it, and it had come unpeeled, unconnected. And there was a little tuft of fibers in the lip of the shoe. So what it appeared to me was that the body had been pulled across a carpet or something like that.
the body had definitely been moved and dumped there. We were just grasping at straws. And it seemed to me that if we could trace back hair, we should be able to trace back a fiber.
They ID the boy through a school as Eric Middlebrooks and notify his foster father.
I got this phone call from Robert Miller. He said, come over here, I need to talk to you. Well, you know, he didn't really call me too often about anything, and I knew the only thing he had to tell me was something about Eric. Knocked on the door, went in, and he said, hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but Eric got killed last night. And I just kind of froze. I looked back towards the door because I didn't quite know how to accept what I just heard.
We worked 31 hours that first day. We didn't stop for anything except some chow every once in a while. The only thing we really did pick up in the neighborhood was that Eric and several of the other little boys with bicycles would take money that someone wanted to errand run and go down to the store, and the person would give him a tip. And those errands frequently ran late, 11, 12 o'clock. Why would somebody do this to a child? It was new to us. We had not had that many children murdered in Atlanta. Most of them were domestic cases. We were beginning with air. That's about all we had.
Now, bearing in mind in 1980, blood evidence was not conclusive. Hair and fiber evidence was not conclusive. But it was evidence, and it needed to be processed and handled as important evidence because there was nothing else there that could be used. Bob was very smart in recognizing this and collecting it.
Buffington and Aiken take the fiber evidence to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's crime lab and give them to 24-year-old microanalyst Larry Peterson.
He said, I think I can do something with that.
It was what I call a collection of fibers together, sharing similar characteristics. And the fact that it was on the bottom of the shoe, to me, carried great significance because it would indicate to me this has got to be a recent transfer from some place where he recently was. Buffington recognized a potential value for fibers where it was not routinely done.
From those few thin threads, Peterson works to find connections to catch a killer. But it is only a few weeks before the next child goes missing.
It was safe. You didn't really hear nothing about a lot of violence in that neighborhood.
Selena Cobb lived just outside of Atlanta with her 3 boys at her parents' house in Decatur. 12-year-old Christopher Richardson is her middle child.
He was like a timid boy. My 3 sons, they would go swimming down at Midway Park.
On June 9th, 1980, the 3 boys decide it's a good day to head to the pool.
That morning, Chris didn't have a good shirt to wear. He had on a Sunday shirt. And I told him, I said, you're not wearing that. And he kept whining and pouting and going. I said, no, you're not going. That's where it was.
While Chris argues over the shirt, his brothers leave for the swimming pool without him. Eventually, Serlina gives in.
I went on to let him wear that shirt that he wanted to wear. I don't know why he was so insistent on wearing that shirt.
She sends him off to the pool, only a few blocks down the road, then leaves for work.
But when I got home from work, I said, where's Chris? And they said, I don't know. I said, well, you better get out there and find him. And I went all up and down the street, asking people, had they seen Chris? The lady used to live next door to us. She said that they saw Chris and they waved at him. And he just kept on going. Like he just disappeared. whoever it was had already got Chris. I'm trying not to worry, but every time I see something on the news, I get upset. And I'm about to go to pieces. It's weird to me that somebody would pick somebody else's child up off the street and take them somewhere and kill them or do something to them.
Without any leads, the police questioned the extended family.
It was horrible because they wasn't looking for him like I thought they should have been.
Days turn into weeks. With no sign of Chris, the pain and anxiety are too much to handle.
And I would be looking at the news every night, see could I hear anything. It was a horrible time.
But by the end of June, one of the most brazen abductions yet will force the child murders to the front pages.
I just want my little girl found safely and brought home. I miss her and I love her.
My insurance rates are probably going to double.
But Dad, you've got...
Allstate. With accident forgiveness, they guarantee your rates won't go up just because of an accident.
Smart kid.
Indeed. Are you in good hands?
You're ready for anything that comes your way. That's because you fortify. Fortified probiotics have billions more active cultures than leading probiotic brands, helping you feel like a warrior inside and out. Fortified from within.
Lowe's knows you do laundry right. We do it right too. Select Whirlpool washers with load and go dispensers that go up to 40 loads between refills, so you can pour it and ignore it. Now get up to 35% off select appliance special values. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Show your guts some love. Only Activia has billions of our live and active probiotics. A delicious way to enjoy probiotics every day with 20 years of devotion to gut health. Activia, like no other.
We do whatever it takes to fight cancer. These are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Experts from all over the world, working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Tuesday on an all-new Deadly Recall.
Something bad happened at this particular gas station that I'll never forget.
My son was working alone that night. I get a call from the police, and they asked me if I knew where she was.
We don't have the body. We found a palm print in blood. But right now, we don't know whether we have a homicide or not. And we needed to find the victim as quick as we could and maybe save her.
Deadly Recall, all new Tuesday at 10. Only on ID and ID Go.
Guys, isn't it time you stepped up your game? In the gym, in the boardroom, and especially in the bedroom. American men are getting soft. We have less testosterone than our fathers, and even less than our grandfathers. We owe it to them and ourselves to fight back. Without the King from Force Factor, it's never been easier. Just one small pill a day for a serious boost in total testosterone. Alpha King is on the rise at Walmart, but you can claim a complimentary bottle by texting FUSE to 809-809. More lean muscle from your workouts, more energy to power through the day, and more passion and drive so you can rule the bedroom. It's no wonder thousands of men across America trust Alpha King to fuel their performance. Just text FUSE to 809-809 for your complimentary bottle. A $35 value. Respond in the next 10 minutes for your chance to also snag a bottle of Score, our #1 performance libido enhancer. Text USE to 809-809.
A dead 6-year-old on Monday and a dead 32-year-old on Wednesday? What really happened to Rebecca Dow?
My ex-boyfriend, my husband, my pastor, my daughter. Someone is going to murder me. Someone I thought I could trust. Someone I thought loved me. I never thought it would end this way.
Betrayed, all new Monday at 10.
Stream live and catch up on ID Go. Download the free app now.
Vacancy shoes that young lady that had just been discarded.
We needed a specialist with specific training.
A lot of serial killers like to keep mementos. That was a shocking find.
It's our feeling that we cut a serial killer on his perspective.
The Face of Evil, all new series, premieres Thursday, April 18th at 10, only on ID and ID Go.
If I would have known it was the last time that I would see her alive, I would never have left.
Tuesday on an all-new Never Say Goodbye.
How could she be murdered in a quiet community?
There was a lot of rage to do that to this young lady.
I brought a picture of Linda, and I said, this is who you are fighting for.
You go to bed at night thinking about it. It weighs heavy on you.
It felt like somebody took my heart and ripped it out.
Never Say Goodbye, all new, Tuesday at 9 on ID and ID Go.
In June of 1980, 6-year-old Latanya Wilson is abducted from her bedroom.
Someone broke into their apartment, singled out Latanya, took her, and left the other children alone.
I'm like, how did that happen? How did somebody just walk in and just take this little girl out and didn't nobody see it? Every day I was looking over my shoulder and I was thinking, what's going on?
By the end of June in 1980, 10 black children had disappeared since July of the previous year. 7 bodies have been found. 3 are still missing.
We know that all of the children are black. We know that they all come from low-income neighborhoods.
So, Police Commissioner Lee Brown was saying that these were things that were happening, but they weren't necessarily unusual, and they definitely were not connected. The question was there something else or different going on in Atlanta?
To the black communities in the city and the parents of the victims, a pattern seems well established, and they are getting angry.
Why is it always a big drug bust? Well, you know, they can always find out a big robbery, you know, a big burglary, but they can't find out who's killing his children.
The story.
Hey, boo-boo. They called to pick up their baskets. They say, you know what, killing the children. Well, he no already didn't bring me no biscuit in the basket, so I told him I would leave 4 at the door.
Been murdered. Rita's Taylor, Willie Mathis, and Camille Bell. And their sense of alarm and their organizing drew press attention.
Why is
happened to
nobody knows about these kids? These are low-income kids. And so you just still you shoving this under the rug. Why do you keep doing it? Why?
What happened to all?
Because they were not born to parents with means. See, when you have means, then you can be a lot louder. You can make people pay attention. You can make people care more.
But Atlanta's kids keep going missing.
There were 72 buildings in Harris home. All what you see right here is brand new.
Man, you just shining like white diamonds.
Street. That's where on that street in July.
The street.
And we never see him again.
K-R-E. Jimmy Evans is 14. When his 9-year-old cousin Anthony Carter moves across the street from his apartment in the Harris Homes public housing development.
My grandmother actually raised Anthony. And she decided that let Anthony come to Atlanta to sit with his mother. My Aunt Vera, Anthony was her only child. He was absolutely a person that you can count on because he was brought up from my grandmother to always do for others as he wants someone to do for you. What we did literally every day. We played hide and go seek. Anthony, we loved them. When kids start getting missing, we stayed playing hide and go seek, but we also stayed in pack like rule. We stayed together. Back July 6, 1980, it's gonna be about 40 of us, and I never forget. We started counting, we all started running. Anthony went around the building. 'Cause 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 'c
disappeared.
39 of us came back, except one. We count, everybody counted. Said, Tony's not here.
Jimmy noticed something just before that game that still haunts him today.
I seen something that puzzled me. And they asked me, I said, well, I seen this man walk up this road. I don't see him no more. And the same time that he disappeared, Anthony disappeared. I said, that's Cotton Can Man. Where did he go? I said, I don't know.
That's the who?
Cotton candy, man. Man, you gonna stop. Sometime coming, they're gonna be coming out with cotton candy. They're pushing grown women in vans now.
Straight up the road, come back around, and come straight down this way. And he was a peculiar man. And that's why I noticed it. Because anybody came in the community, we knew it. So Aunt Vera come down, and she said, what, Tony? I said, Tony went around the building and didn't come back. So my aunt and her boyfriend, we all just started looking. But when they absolutely didn't come back home the next day, we knew something was wrong.
The next day, the body of a young black boy is found a mile away.
Another young boy was found dead in this grassy stretch behind a building on Wells Street Southwest.
And the detective said this may be something you can't handle because the body is gruesome. It was bad. It was very bad. And he asked me, I said, that's him. This is Anthony Bernard Carter.
Anthony is found stabbed to death in the back and the chest.
It really tore my aunt apart. My aunt didn't want to eat. My aunt didn't really treat her to the fact she didn't want to have nothing to live for. She had lost her only son. Something to the son that she really truly cared about. Now I say to myself over and over again, why? I had said to myself, what happened? Who would do this to our kid?
8 months later, Timothy Hill and JoJo Bell, friends with Anthony from the neighborhood, would go missing and turn up dead.
We was totally afraid because we did not know who was going to be next. Who doing it? Who doing it?
On July 17th, under continued pressure from the community, Commissioner Lee Brown announces the formation of a task force to focus their investigative efforts.
We are doing all that is humanly possible in investigating these cases involving our children.
I don't know whether they initially thought that there actually was a link to these killings, but the crescendo of concern was now reaching a level that they couldn't ignore it. But people were saying, why don't you do something?
The police now have to decide which cases to include in their investigation. They create a tally of all the seemingly related murders. The list is born.
The list was always problematic because there was no real hard and fast rule for how a child got on there.
And it could be based on protests by parents, could be from concern by the mayor, could be on certain actual facts.
The total is now 8 dead. 3 are missing. Over the next 2 months, 3 more young black boys go missing. Among the missing is 13-year-old Clifford Jones, who was visiting his grandmother. He's found dead after disappearing while collecting cans with cousins.
13-year-old Clifford Jones was found dead alongside a dumpster. He had apparently been strangled.
The position of the body made it appear that he was just pulled out.
So you telling me?
Left there.
His body provides some curious clues. Jones is found fully clothed, but the shorts and sneakers are not his, and his underwear is missing. And like Eric Middlebrooks before him, fiber evidence is clearly apparent.
I was on call and examined Clifford Jones's body. I'm noticing beige carpet fibers on his skin, in his hair, on his clothing, and they're very, very loose. And there's a lot of them. There was over 20 of them. if they're being transported to where they were found, they're being transported in a vehicle of some sort, potentially from a location that would maybe be similar, that they could pick up similar fibers, hairs, or any kind of trace evidence from that environment that could then maybe serve as a linkage between different cases.
If fibers from multiple victims match, it could tie the murders together. The first tangible evidence that there could be one killer.
Once the task
That's crazy, dude. He just killing people.
Are the cases related? Is there a common person or persons responsible for the death?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
My ex-boyfriend, my husband, my pastor, my daughter. Someone is going to murder me. Someone I thought I could trust.
That's weird.
Someone I thought loved me. I never thought.
No, they fooled you, did. They said they fooled you because you had to ask me.
Stream live and catch up on ID Go. Download the free app now.
How could she be murdered in a quiet
Shit, we're gonna be popping in a minute. We already popping. See if I can keep it going. Make sure it don't fuck over, bro, so you can get what you want to get. Even if you just got just a little bit, you still alright. Just back on track.
See results in just 1 week.
And now, introducing new fast unit. Text KETO to 4422.
Call him up, I'm telling him come get him.
Dear Fresh Pet, Tank was overweight and had no energy until Fresh Pet.
Yeah, man, come on now. That's your body. And your nose might have been wet. You gotta blow your nose sometime.
If you're moderate to severe ulcerative
Just now.
Crohn's syndrome,
Yeah, you just did just now.
and your current treatment hasn't worked well enough, it may be time for a change.
I'm not arguing with you, just the way I talk.
Entyvio, the only biologic developed and approved just for UC and Crohn's.
I said, I ain't trying to argue with you, just the way I talk.
GI tract and is clinically proven to help many patients achieve both symptom relief and remission. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection caused by a virus, may be possible. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, experience frequent infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Liver problems can occur with Entyvio. If your UC or Crohn's treatment isn't working for you, ask your gastroenterologist about Entyvio. Entyvio, relief and remission within reach.
From the darkest streets.
3 people have been shot in the responsible favors. Suspects still might be in the area.
To the wealthiest estates. Residents of our community, they're not used to this type of crime. Only these detectives, these gruesome crimes, could solve Philadelphia's toughest cases.
What happened to these people? Why were they murdered?
Homicide City. New season premieres Wednesday at 10. Only on ID and ID Go.
Imagine feeling so confident about your skin that you're proud to show it off. You can with the skin clearing breakthrough from America's #1 acne brand. It's called Proactive MD. Check out how annoying blemishes disappear. Random blackheads dissolve away. Even red, painful pimples can vanish.
My pictures don't lie. Proactive MD works.
Man, you dropped your ass right on my pants.
That you can only get from a doctor.
You dropped your asses on my pants.
The new Proactive MD 3-piece system costs $45. But order before time runs out and pay just $19.95. More.
When you was hanging over me right here, your cigarette accidentally hit landed on my pants.
Free gift.
Clean, fresh. It feels great on your skin.
Proactive MD is guaranteed to work or your money back. Go online or call 1-800-772-3091.
Your booty got big.
Real personality come out.
Unbreakable, Live to Tell. Series premiere Monday at 9. Only on ID and ID Go.
The victim was last seen alive around 7 p.m. We were able to put together this timeline.
We knew there was a very short window to identify who committed this murder.
From 4 o'clock.
to 9:54 p.m. All roads led back to one person.
Killing time, all new. Thursday at 10. Only on Investigation Discovery. 20 years experience.
You couldn't tell me about it. They got pulled on.
35 murders behind bars.
I'm Anna Segan, I know what it takes to win a murder case. That was the person you needed to find, whoever left those prints.
What?
You inside a fight for justice.
Now the chess game is on.
You basically have a psychopath on the loose.
True Conviction, all new season, Tuesday, April 16th at 10. Only on ID and ID Go.
While GBI's Larry Peterson tries to find fiber evidence connections among the victims, Atlanta's Public Safety Commissioner Lee Brown turns to the FBI for help.
Well, we couldn't do that. And the reason we couldn't was because it was a local homicide investigation, and the FBI has no jurisdiction in local homicide cases.
Instead, the FBI provides support from their recently formed behavioral science unit.
The behavioral science unit, they were basically psychologists who got into criminal profiling. And they elevated it to an art of a science. John Douglas was one, and Roy Hazelwood. And they came up with a profile.
The person that was involved would be an ambulance chaser, have a real high awareness, if you will, of the news media.
Somebody who has an unusual interest in police activity, maybe even monitor police radios.
That the person would more than likely be of a higher intelligence, an only child.
One of the most surprising assessments made in the profile is about the killer's race.
Roy Hazelwood thought we were looking for somebody who was black, who was invisible in the black community. So who was invisible in the black community except another black person? So the Atlanta Police Department said that's not so. So whoever is doing this, if you look at the history of serial murders, you normally find a white male. Right. But not entirely. Because even before that, if you look broadly in the United States, for instance, you'll see that there were the so-called zebra killings in San Francisco. And you had black individuals responsible for that. And so the idea that serial killings are only conducted by white males is not borne out by the facts.
And while the investigators struggle to find a suspect, the body count continues to mount.
12-year-old Charles Stevens is the latest victim, discovered Friday near suburban trailer park.
With each murder, the frustration grows for the public and law enforcement.
Now, on the one hand, you have what probably at that time was one of the most significant criminal investigations occurring in the United States. On the other hand, you've got the premier law enforcement agency in the land not addressing what appeared to be the most serious crime problem. So I had a problem with that, but there was nothing I could do about it.
At least 4 of the victims have been killed by strangulation, 3 by other means: gunshot, stabbing, and blunt force trauma. The rest cannot be determined. To the Atlanta PD, a clear signature remains elusive.
We can say with certainty that we do not have one person responsible for the cases involving the missing and murdered children in our city.
At some point, the whole notion of order had been turned upside down. You know, the police are supposed to be able to protect and solve any crimes.
Mayor Maynard Jackson offers a $100,000 cash reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the killers.
Somebody somewhere out there knows what we're looking for, knows who's doing this insane series of acts.
This brought in like all kinds of bounty hunters and, dog team investigators.
They even bring in a psychic.
Looked all kinds of stupid to me. It just looked like bozos. So I lost confidence in the police's ability to
solve this thing.
The city turned into a circus, a volatile circus. People wanted this done. They wanted somebody arrested now. And we couldn't do it now.
But nothing really stopped this drumbeat of bodies.
As the pressure on the authorities boils over, the public is on edge, seemingly defenseless, waiting for the next tragedy to unfold.
Authorities in Atlanta today identified the remains of a child. The body was of 7-year-old LaTonya Wilson, missing since June.
October 18, 1980. The skeletal remains of LaTonya Wilson, abducted from her bedroom 4 months ago, are discovered in nearby woods not far from her home. The cause of death, impossible to determine. City patrols are stepped up as Halloween approaches, but on November 1st, 9-year-old Erin Jackson disappears.
So far, the killer seems to be striking every 3.5 weeks. The last known victim was 9-year-old Erin Jackson.
Erin is found dead 1 day later on the bank of the South River.
Well, it can't be unless it's taking that long to find.
This latest death is apparently related to the others, but investigators are stumped.
The thing that I remember most, the sort of slow build-up of a situation where a community becomes slowly terrorized by an unknown danger. Your normal day-to-day routine was always governed by waiting for that next announcement that another child has gone missing.
Stay like that. No, throw it. Good throw. Stay right there.
Don't go nowhere.
He's Isaac Rogers II, 7 years old. Thinks he's 20. He doesn't know why his daddy is so overprotective. Doesn't know why his daddy wants to stand at the bus stop with him in the morning. Because I was at the same age, He doesn't know all that yet, but maybe one day he'll read about it. Maybe he'll understand a little bit better then. But until then, just me and old daddy. Good throw, good throw, good throw. Yep, that's my man. That's my man. That's my man.
In 1980, 7-year-old Isaac Rogers is the youngest of 8, living with his mom in the Thomasville Heights housing projects.
My brother was Patrick Rogers, or Pat-Man as we called him. Pat-Man, he was my closest sibling. He was more than a brother to me. To me, he was an angel. He was 16 years old, I was 7, but he almost went out of his way to try to shelter me, more so than a normal 16-year-old would. Back then, all the projects around the city would have talent shows. And he loved singing. He thought that he was Stevie Wonder or somebody. Because everybody knew Pat-Man. Everybody knew Pat-Man from Thomasville. I do remember Pat-Man talking about having some prospects that he thought were promising. He was excited. He thought that he was about to get a break. That something big was about to happen. That he thought that he had hooked up with the right person. But the bad part about trying to get discovered is you can run into some unsavory characters.
And not who they is. You hear him like an Uber.
And 4 kids are still missing.
Yeah, I'll be dead in a week.
I'm trying to drill that home. Hey, this is really close. Pay attention, and so we never thought that, that it would get that close, but it eventually did. That nightmare came to town. It came to town. He walked me to the bus stop one morning, like he did every day. And I went to school like I normally did. Came home, got off the bus, and my brother was there. Some days he'd beat me home. He didn't beat me home that day. I can remember it wasn't panic. You know, we knew what was going on at the time. But it was just, hey, have you seen Pat-Man? Has anybody seen him? He never came home. Still didn't panic. The next day, it became more surreal because we know he never stay out unannounced or be somewhere where nobody knew where he was.
Isaac's mom calls the police.
The question is Patrick Rogers a runaway or has he been harmed? His family thinks the worst.
The City of Atlanta Police Department, Fulton County Police Department, I don't think they took it as seriously as quickly as they should have. Day 3, I knew that something wasn't right. 3 days gone? No way. Everybody tried to live as normal.
You should have known then. Could have called me in my bag. We would have came down there and solved everybody's mysteries.
I thought maybe.
I said, we would have went down there and solved all their mysteries.
But one day he would have come back because that was Pat-Man.
November 6, 1980. The FBI is finally authorized to get involved in the investigation through the 4 missing persons cases.
Because the FBI has jurisdiction in kidnapping cases, we approach the case from a kidnapping standpoint, that you have 4 missing children who could be kidnapped.
The code name was Cat Kid for Atlanta kidnapping. This was major case number 30. And when you designated the major case, that means all hands on board.
You could hear the buzz through the office about this case because you could tell that it was about to gear up to be one of the biggest.
I really believe immediately after we became involved in this case that we would solve it.
Our instructions were to go back to ground zero, the first day of their disappearance, and to review everything we could get our hands on. So we were playing catch up.
And then at the end of all that rigorous investigative activity, we still had no idea what was going on. And then that was where I said, okay, we really need to become proactive. And we started to do a number of proactive things.
Meanwhile, Isaac Rogers' family and others like them of missing kids live in a constant state of depression and terror.
As a 7-year-old, I had to stop being a kid. I had to start learning to worry about my safety. But at that time, my mother, she didn't smile no more. She just would worry.
On December 7th, a clothed body is pulled from the Chattahoochee River.
They'd announced they had found the body. And she had some kind of premonition. She'd say, that's him. She said, that's him. And it turned out it was him. It was him that they were pulling out of the river. Yeah. It was him. It was official now. Now your brother's dead. No need to hold out hope. He's a statistic now. You don't know who's responsible. You're 7 years old, so what can you do? The one person you had, he's gone. He's gone. And you didn't even say goodbye. I lost my mom when I was 7 years old. It destroyed. It destroyed. No parent's supposed to bury their child. She was a shell of herself. She was there, but she wasn't there. And one thing led to another. Drug usage. She couldn't take it. She couldn't take it. But you still gotta watch your back too, though, because it's not open. They don't know who's going. Cops are clueless. They clueless. From that point on, it was like, whoa, you are part of that club now. Club nobody wants to be a part of.
The medical examiner finds evidence of an injury behind Patrick's left ear. He determines that his death was due to a skull fracture.
He never let his guard down. So for that to happen, it had to be somebody who he trusted. It wasn't a stranger to him, I would say. He was special to me. He was really special. And to have him taken away so soon, so savagely. I still hadn't quite, I guess, come to terms with it. But you're never able to, even when you're happy, when you're supposed to be yes, you're not able to really be happy. Because he's not here. He can't enjoy this with me. You know, he doesn't know, but I got my own family now. You know, he doesn't know I got my own 7-year-old now. It just seems like it's robbed of so much. Robbed of so much, so early. So early.
Try Canada Dry, ginger ale and lemonade. Are you ready to taste your plan?
Sir, you cannot be in the family.
Sorry, I can't hear you over the wonderful sounds of nature. Try Canada Dry, ginger ale and lemonade. Now in diet.
I'm just a normal person who got an awful skin condition.
With uncontrolled moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis, you feel like you're itching all the time. And you never know how your skin will look. Because deep within your skin, an overly sensitive immune system could be the cause. So help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is not a steroid, and it continuously treats your eczema even when you can't see it. At 16 weeks, nearly
I need that.
taking Dupixent saw clear or almost
Tell what we need.
compared to those not taking it, and patients saw a significant reduction in itch. Do not use if you are allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, a severe reaction. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems, including eye pain or changes in vision. If you are taking asthma medicines, do not change or stop your asthma medicine without talking to your doctor. Help heal your skin from within.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a specialist about Dupixent.
Well, we know.
Dear Fresh Pet.
People heard of the Fresh Pet.
What do you need? Then I fed him Fresh Pet.
Maybe that's true, Want cookies?
Cool.
Mesothelioma. It's all we do. With 9 offices across the country, we are large enough to take on big corporations. There is no risk. Let us come meet with you.
We only take mesothelioma claims. Call us at 1-800-764-2665 or
It's 6:30 in the evening.
Our experience and the size of our makes a difference.
Whoa.
Call us at 1-800-764-2665 or visit mesobook.com.
I yo-yo dieted for years. I found this point. I followed the rules.
It's getting dark right now.
Help me long term. I was just so tired of losing weight. But I found something new. It's called.
You know what?
It's not a diet. It's a totally different
Huh?
personalized program that uses psychology and small goals to change your habits so that you can lose the weight and keep it off for good. It's super easy to get started, so what do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com today and lose the weight for good.
I have tremendous respect
for the families who come in to talk to us. It's extremely painful for families to have to relive their tragedies, but it is so important that victims' voices aren't silenced, and that's why they come.
On the Case with Paul is on, all new, next Sunday at 10, only on Investigation Discovery. Stream live and catch up on ID Go. Download the free app now.
It was an incredible story. What has happened to Madeline?
Madeline McCann disappeared.
That's her mom and her dad.
Kate McCann raced out of the apartment screaming, "Madeline's gone, Madeline's gone." Police wondered who Kate meant when she said they have taken Madeline. Is someone withholding some important information?
Watch Madeline McCann, an ID murder mystery. All new special tonight at 9. On ID or stream on the ID Go app now.
1980 comes to an end. The city institutes a curfew barring children under 15 from being on the streets between 11 and 9 a.m.
It was the and a curfew went out. So the street light came on. There was no kids.
And a public service announcement starts airing at night on all the major networks in the Atlanta market.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kid is? And like, we be looking at TV like, we home. I mean, as a kid, that's kind of crazy, like kind of being naive and not knowing what a serial killer is or how serious that is.
The tone of the guy's voice. You know, it ain't always what you say, it's how you say it. And he was saying it in a way that was to a 7, 8, 9-year-old kid. Oh man, you know, I'm scared. I'm locking the door. Mama's face soon put the chain on the door, figured out everybody out there, Mom, I want a BB gun.
Imagine the terror. Imagine like trying to live a normal life. And I had friends who told me if they came home 5 minutes late from school one day, you know, they stopped to play with a friend, they stopped to get a soda from the store. It was panic. It was, where is my child?
So now we're going into Christmas, and the pall that had started to rise over the community, it just kind of deepened through the holidays. That sense of foreboding, it just kind of, it overshadowed everything, even Christmas.
Soon, the intervals between murders shrink.
And you go into 81, and then the space of when a child was missing, and then when he was found, it began to get closer, you know, like, first it was like every 2 months, then it was like every 2 weeks.
And the task force is no closer to stopping them.
This investigation revealed to me that the person who did this was a psychopath and a monster. This guy is vicious, he's evil, he's a threat.
At the start of 1981, 13 children are dead, and 4 kids are missing.
So, we broke for Christmas. We came back after the first of the year. January 5th, I think it was a Saturday afternoon, Ruby G is selling Zep products down at an outdoor mall in South Atlanta. He's a good kid. He's working, he's going to school, and he goes missing. And that raised our eyebrows. Boy, you know, what the hell's happening here? This is the first one since the Bureau is involved. We have an actual missing kid. The pals that they got together and said, you know, maybe we ought to search some of the dumping grounds in the Atlanta area. The Atlanta Police Department knew where the dumping grounds of bodies were. Around 3 o'clock that afternoon, got a call over the radio. They found skeletal remains out on Red Wine Road. As I'm going into the woods, I see something that appears to be, initially looked to me like a milk container, a plastic milk container. And I walked over and it was a human skull. We discovered 2 skeletal remains. That was the moment that we said, yeah, we're on now. This is it. We're in an active murder investigation. Serial killers out there.
Man, can you reheat my food?
Get going.
Can you reheat my food?
The parents of each of the 4 children who have been missing for several months know there is a good chance that their child has been found dead.
Every time when the news got ready to come on and they play that music, it used to just go all the way through me. I just couldn't function.
Serlena's son, Christopher Richardson, has been missing for 7 months.
And I'm hoping that it's not Chris, because anytime that you don't hear anything, no news is good news.
It takes a week for the remains to be identified. One is Christopher.
Now, police are saying that Richardson is one of the children whose skeletal remains were found in these woods last week.
Some of the things I miss about Chris, he would tell me different things like, "You're so clever." And you hear that from a little mouth like that. I miss him. He was just a little quiet, little timid person. It's my baby.
The other remains are from missing 11-year-old Earl Terrell. Similar fibers are found between the 2 boys, and so their deaths could be linked. Now, the challenge is to see if those same fibers match any of the previous victims.
Number 1, I'm looking for green carpet fibers. There were trilobe fibers, 2 large lobes and a smaller lobe. Really distinctive. It was rare to see anything like that. If you're going to search for a suspect's residence or environment, then these would be presumably the same materials that link the cases together that would link then the suspect environment to this group of victims.
Everybody was a suspect. And we were all very frustrated because we couldn't figure this out. And we racked our brains. I just wanted to find the killer and stop the killing.
You had so many rumors going around at that point. It went from the police, it went from the Klan. But I saw this one guy there. That guy wasn't a rumor to me. He was fact. He was actual, tangible. He was a person.
Add fullness to lips with Juvederm Ultra XC. Tell your doctor if you have a history of scarring or are taking medicines that decrease the body's immune response or that can prolong bleeding. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. As with all fillers, there is a rare risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. Juvederm it. So there you are with your depression. And stuff that you just don't want to deal with. Because depression is multiple symptoms. Okay, time for a change. So your doctor tells you about Trintellix, a prescription medicine for depression. And you feel this overall relief. There you go. And Trintellix has no significant impact on weight in clinical trials.
Tell your doctor right away if you have worsening depression, unusual changes in mood, behavior, or thoughts of suicide. Antidepressants can increase these in children, teens, and young adults. Do not take with MAOIs. Tell your doctor about your medications, including migraines, psychiatric, and depression medications, to avoid a potentially life-threatening condition. Increased risk of bleeding and bruising may occur, especially if taken with NSAID pain relievers, aspirin, or blood thinners. Manic episodes or vision problems may occur in some people. May cause low sodium levels. Common side effects include nausea, constipation, and vomiting.
No kidding, this feels better.
Ask your doctor about changing to Trintellix.
From the darkest streets.
3 people had been shot and there was possible fatals. The suspects still might be in the area.
To the wealthiest estates.
Residents of our community, they're not used to this type of crime.
Only these detectives.
It was a gruesome crime scene.
Could solve Philadelphia's toughest cases.
What happened to these people? Why were they murdered?
Homicide City. All new season premieres Wednesday at 10. Only on ID and ID Go.
He's trying to break into the house. What do you want, please?
Cuts me right there here with a knife. My whole house was on fire.
They didn't make it. I was the only one that survived. I saw how she was because she came back to life. He's not going to win. He's not going to take my spirit away.
Unbreakable, Live to Tell. All new series, Monday at 9 on Investigation Discovery.
If I would have known it was the last time that I would see her alive, I would never have left.
Tuesday on an all-new Never Say Goodbye.
How could she be murdered in a quiet community?
There was a lot of rage to do that to this young lady.
I brought a picture of Linda, and I said, this is who you are fighting for.
You go to bed at night thinking about it. It weighs heavy on you.
It felt like somebody took my heart and ripped it out.
Never Say Goodbye. All new Tuesday at 9 on ID and ID Go.
While the authorities acknowledge that there seems to be some type of pattern to the Atlanta murders, publicly they insist that there is not just one killer responsible for all of them.
We can say with certainty that we do not have one person responsible for the cases involving the missing and murdered children in our city.
However, Isaac Rogers will never forget a run-in with a strange man in the neighborhood that had him thinking differently.
There was one night I went to the neighborhood store in the projects. Our candle lady was named Miss Willie Mae. She was the sweetest lady. And right as I get ready to walk down the stairs, this guy steps out. And he blocks me from going down the stairs. And so immediately the panic set in. I mean, I was 7 years old. It's nighttime. My brother's already missing and been killed. And so I turned around and I ran back to Miss Willie Mae's door. And I started beating on the door. Beating. Miss Willie Mae. It's him, hurry, it's him. And it seemed like it took Miss Willie Mae forever. But that guy, he started walking up the stairs. He was so calm. And luckily, by the grace of God, Miss Willie Mae opened the door. And when she opened the door, she was like, don't worry, baby. I got you. He came all the way up to the porch. He stood like 5 feet away from Miss Willie Mae and I. It was almost like he wanted me to see him. And I saw him. I remember his afro was uneven. It wasn't crispy. I remember the rimless little glasses, and he had on his tweed suit coat with the patches on the elbows. I hate that jacket to this day. And then he looks back over at me, and he looks at Miss Willie Mae, and then he walks off that porch and walks around to the side of the building and disappears. I'll never forget him. I can have Alzheimer's, but I will remember that guy. It wasn't my time, and Miss Willie Mae opened her door. Had that lady not opened that door, I wouldn't be here. I would have my family. Miss Willie Mae, she was my angel.
During the time, children was being missing and murdered, but it was like a child here, a child there, you know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, it was boom, boom, back to back. Every week, every day, they found children's bodies thrown all over Atlanta, Georgia. And during that time, my son, my stepchildren were sitting around the table listening to the news and never realized that one of the children would be my stepson that was missing and murdered.
In 1980, Sheila Baltazar marries Russell Baltazar. Russell has 14 children from a previous marriage.
It's been 40 years. Wow.
Most of them live with their mother in rural Louisiana.
Oh, this picture right here, this is my stepson, Patrick Baltazar. Patrick and his little brother came here to visit their father for the summer. from Louisiana. He was absolutely
I like you,
wonderful child. I mean, my son fell in love with him. Let him stay, you know what I'm saying? Patrick used to love to go swimming. Had this little boom box. This little boy was playing Zydeco music. Wow, you know. This little boy was pretty cool, you know. And he was just like his father. He had that loving urge. And you could tell that he was raised by older parents, because it was always, yes, sir, you know, yes, ma'am. And I love that about him. That was his southern way, you know. He was a little hard-working little boy. He was found at odd jobs to do, you know, and that was all good, too. But it was at the wrong time in life. So I spoke with his father, you know. I said, you're going to have to send this little boy back home to his mother. Children that's being missing and murdered here in Atlanta, you're going to have to send him back. But, you know, he didn't want to go back to rural Louisiana. And I wasn't able to have a grip on him. I couldn't protect him from the killer.
One night, Patrick and a friend had just finished playing video games at the Omni downtown when they are approached by a stranger.
And there was a heavy-set white man in an old cart. The guy pulled up and asked them if they wanted to ride. And Patrick said, man, that might be the killer. And so they stopped and went to the payphone, and Patrick called the task force and told him who he were, and told him that the car that they were following them, and it had a lost tag on it, and they said they would have a car there shortly.
Patrick's friend gets tired of waiting for the police and leaves.
Later, I heard that they thought it was a crank phone call. They didn't send a car out. And that's what Patrick was last seen at.
My daddy used to come in every night, chill, stay in the house, don't go out there, you know. But I don't know what happened, he just went on out there anyway.
His oldest brother called and said he didn't come home that night. Like, he didn't come home? Oh my God. Oh my God. That's the first thing I thought about. Missing. Oh my God. Murdered. Oh my God.
My insurance rates are probably going to double.
But Dad, you've got...
Allstate. With accident forgiveness, they guarantee your rates won't go up just because of an accident.
Smart kid.
Indeed. Are you in good hands?
When it comes to milk, Fairlife is ultra-filtered for 50% more protein and 50% less sugar. It's an oh-so-good, one-of-a-kind kind of milk. Fairlife.
1 part steak, 1 part ribs, 2 parts incredible. Steak and ribs starting at $14.99 with your choice of sauce or dry rub. And back again is our 3-point rib bloom topped with cheese fries and barbecue ribs. And try our everyday lunch combos starting at $7.99.
Lowe's knows you're a DIYer who does spring right. Who treats yourself by treating your yard. We do it right too, with the right plans for your region, so you stay a step ahead of spring all season long. Now get 5 bags of Scott's mulch for $10. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
You're ready for anything that comes your way. That's because you Fortify. Fortify probiotics have billions more active cultures than leading probiotic brands, helping you feel like a warrior inside and out. Fortify from within.
If I would have known it was the last time that I would see her alive, I would never have left.
Tuesday on an all-new Never Say Goodbye.
How could she be murdered in a quiet community?
There was a lot of rage to do that to this young lady.
I brought a picture of Linda, and I said, this is who you are fighting for.
You go to bed at night thinking about it. It weighs heavy on you.
It felt like somebody took my heart and ripped it out.
Never Say Goodbye. All new Tuesday. Wednesday at 9 on ID and ID Go.
Here's a random question for you. What do college students, athletes, gamers, working professionals, and grandparents all have in common? They are all looking to optimize their cognitive performance. Chances are you are too, no matter who you are. Now there's a potent nootropic from the experts at Force Factor called 4Brain, and it's helping men and women everywhere achieve optimal brain function. 4Brain is flying off the shelves at GNC, but for a limited time, you can claim a complimentary bottle. Just use your smartphone to text DART to 202020. 4Brain's 3 powerful blends contain clinically studied ingredients to help increase mental energy, enhance sharpness and clarity, promote better concentration, and improve memory. No matter who you are, 4Brain can help you unleash your potential. Claim your complimentary bottle of 4Brain by texting DART to 202020 with your smartphone. Do it now before you forget. That's DART to 202020.
A dead 6-year-old on Monday and a dead 32-year-old on Wednesday. What really happened to Rebecca Sahau?
He was gone. It quickly became evident. Officers were looking at the last moments before he was executed.
Casino Evil, all new, Wednesday at 9. Catch up on every episode now on ID Go. Download the free app now.
They didn't make him. I was the only one that survived. She came back to life.
He's not going to win. He's not going to take my spirit away.
Unbreakable, Live to Tell, all new series, Monday at 9 on Investigation Discovery.
I have tremendous respect for the families who come in to talk to us. It's extremely painful for families to have to relive their tragedies, but it is so important that victims' voices aren't silenced, and that's why they come.
On the Case with Paul is on, all new, next Sunday at 10, only on Investigation Discovery. Stream live and catch up on ID Go. Download the free app now.
It was an incredible story. Everybody around the world wanted to know what has happened to Madeline.
Madeline McCann disappeared while her family were just steps away. Kate McCann raced out of the apartment screaming, "Madeline's gone, Madeline's gone."
Police wondered who Kate meant when she said they have taken Madeline.
Is someone withholding some important information?
Madeline McCann, an ID murder mystery. All new special tonight at 9 on ID and ID Go.
The 11-year-old Patrick Baltazar is the latest child to go missing when he disappears downtown after being followed by a white man in a car.
As the parents, we think it in the black community that the Klansmen had a lot to do with it. We understood that it could very well have been the Ku Klux Klansmen.
I grew up in the South. You grow up in the South, you know that the Klan is a threat to your existence. I don't mean a threat like they may call your names. I don't mean a threat like these are people that don't like I mean a threat that these are people that would kill you. You grew up in the South, you knew about the KKK.
You ain't grow up.
They wanted for us to wait 24 hours to report, our children was missing. Do you actually think, as a parent, I was going to wait 24 hours and let you know that?
That's right.
No. It been my 24 hours. Yes. It's been 24 hours. It was the longest week in the world. One day felt like it was months. It felt one of the worst feelings that any parent could have in their life, knowing that your child could be caught up in the missing and the murder of Atlanta. And a week later, his body was found.
That's the main preview.
Behind a vacant building.
They're like 52.
Russ and I went to identify his body.
The funeral of Patrick Balthazar was held in Atlanta today. The death of any child is moving enough, but this funeral was for the 17th black child murdered in the last 20 months in Atlanta.
Oh my God. Lord have mercy. So here I am today.
As the crimes continue, the rest of the nation takes notice. People everywhere seem to want to do something, including celebrities. Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra perform a benefit concert in Atlanta, raising $150,000 to help the city pay for the investigation. Muhammad Ali pledges $400,000. Newly elected President Ronald Reagan sends Vice President George Bush to Atlanta, and later pledges almost $3 million in grants and federal emergency funds. But the money sheds no new leads, and over the next 2 months, the murders increase in frequency.
And I could predict he was at a pace every 10 days.
And some of the victims are now older. Investigators believe the curfew is keeping boys off the streets, and the killer is turning to childlike adults.
It's unfortunate, but a number of them were challenged.
They were not adult in like the ability to fight off like somebody attacking them.
He wouldn't be your average 21-year-old person.
By March of 1981, the media reports that investigators are making connections to fiber and hair evidence on the victims.
Investigators, forensic experts had begun to link some of these victims through trace evidence they found on the bodies. Fibers, dog hairs. Prior to then, there was no public indication that these cases were linked in any kind of way. So you get that, but the murders don't stop. But what happens is they start to find bodies without clothes in rivers. Chattahoochee River and the South River.
The perpetrators always follow the news, always follow these stories. And as a result, then started to throw the bodies in the water to wash the hairs and fiber evidence off.
This guy was toying with us. Whatever we did, whatever we said, whatever appeared in the newspapers, he'd respond to us. We were very, very frustrated. The frustration level was very high.
Agent Mike McComas and his partner come up with a plan.
I lived on a river, and I do know that you throw something off the bank of the river, that if you don't get it into the mainstream, then it's going to come right back to the side. So I said, I wonder if this guy is tossing them off a bridge.
And they said, we want to cover the bridges. And I said, well, how do you know you're going to have the right bridges? And they looked at me, they looked down at me because I was sitting down. They said, well, you dumbass, do you have a better idea? And I says, not really, not at the time, go for it.
The FBI, the police department, the task force, this was a joint effort. We put 2 people under the bridge on one side of the river, 2 people on the other side, and then on each side in a secluded, unseen location, we would put chase cars. The theory was if somebody stopped on the bridge, dropped anything over, then the people under the bridge would radio the chase cars and they would stop them, and so it begins.
The stakeout is scheduled to last 30 days.
It was a tense time. The city eventually reached the point that they were on the verge of panic.
I do remember probably about 70% through, I started feeling the effects of it because we were going hard. We throttle up and go wide open. You have this sense of duty and obligation. And sometimes you feel like you don't do enough, but you know you're doing everything, but you go, what else is there?
As the weeks pass, the city's business leaders struggle with the negative publicity. Tourism dips, and there are still no breaks in the investigation.
The last night we were told we're coming up with nothing. This is drain of manpower.
Is it what?
On Friday, that's it. It's over with.
It's May in Atlanta. It's hot and humid. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Usually at that time, it's very humid. If you're on a riverbank, it's even more humid.
And so, about 2:55, there comes this splash in the water. The police recruit under the bridge, through his radio, he says, I just heard a splash, and I see these ripples.
Campbell hears a splash, and Campbell was a high school swimmer. And he said, that's a body hitting water. He knew what a body sounded like. And he looked up and he saw a light on a bridge, and he radioed to the policeman directly on the other side. Is there a car on the bridge? Yes, he's just starting to move.
Right up against the railing. So when he sees it, it's moving away from the railing, and it's crossing the bridge.
The police follow a white station wagon for a few miles and pull it over as it crosses another bridge on I-285, a mile south from where it was first spotted.
As we're going up 285 and I see all blue lights, I get out of my car. I walk up and I'm approached by Craig Gilliand. He said, well, there was a splash and this is the car that was there, and we pulled him over. And I believe Craig identified him, said the guy's name's Wayne Williams. Wayne was sitting in the front seat. The window was down, and I identified myself as a special agent of the FBI. I said, do you know why we've stopped you? And he said, yeah, it's about the murder of those children, isn't it?
Black.
Was it the black dude?
Yeah, it's a black dude.
A dead 6-year-old on Monday and a dead 32-year-old on Wednesday. What really happened to Rebecca Sahau?
I'm just a normal person who got an awful skin condition.
With uncontrolled moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis, you feel like you're itching all the time. And you never know how your skin will look, because deep within your skin, an overly sensitive immune system could be the cause. So help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is not a steroid, and it continuously treats your eczema even when you can't see it. At 16 weeks, nearly 4 times more patients taking Dupixent saw clear or almost clear skin compared to those not taking it, and patients saw a significant reduction in itch. Do not use if you are allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, a severe reaction. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems, including eye pain or changes in vision. If you are taking asthma medicines, do not change or stop your asthma medicine without talking to your doctor. Help heal your skin from within. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent. My ex-boyfriend, my husband, my pastor, my daughter. Someone is going to murder me. Someone I thought I could trust. Someone I thought loved me. I never thought it would end this way.
The Trade, all new Monday at 10. Stream live and catch up on ID Go. Download the free app now.
I yo-yo dieted for years. I counted points, I followed the rules, and it didn't help me long term.
I was just so tired of losing the weight and gaining it all back.
But I found something new. It's called New.
It's not a diet. It's a totally different, personalized program
that uses psychology and small goals to change your habits. so that you can lose the weight.
And keep it off for good.
It's super easy to get started, so what do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com today and lose the weight for good.
Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? At Touch of Modern, watches don't just tell time. They change the way you spend it. Bags are thoughtfully designed to never slow you down, and gear won't get in the way. And coffee tables are also refrigerators, keeping you at the center of the party. All it takes is a touch. touchofmodern.com.
Working a homicide, it's constantly going through my mind. I'm Sergeant Pat Pastiglio, and I use my memory to help solve murder.
If anybody can find out what happened, this man can.
Deadly Recall, all new Tuesday at 10, only on Investigation Discovery.
They got engaged rather quickly, which upset the whole family.
Monday on the series premiere of Unbreakable.
Scott played the perfect guy, but if you watched closely, his real personality come out. Lori's had her breaking point. She's leaving him. Scott began harassing my sister.
He's trying to break into the house. I'm laying there, and then I saw his hands in his pocket.
Unbreakable, Live to Tell, series premiere, Monday at 9, only on ID and ID Go.
If I would have known it was the last time that I would see her alive, I would never have left.
Tuesday on an all-new Never Say Goodbye.
How could she be murdered in a quiet community?
There was a lot of rage to do that to this young lady.
I brought a picture of Linda, and I said, this is who you are fighting for.
You go to bed at night thinking about it. It weighs heavy on you.
It felt like somebody took my heart and ripped it out.
Never Say Goodbye, all new, Tuesday at 9 on ID and ID Go.
On the last night of the FBI's stakeout, 23-year-old Wayne Williams is being questioned by Agent Mike McComas after a splash is heard in the river as he was driving over the James Jackson Parkway Bridge.
I asked him for a consent to search his vehicle, and he gave us consent. And I remember in the front seat there was a pair of like suede gloves with a wool liner and a flashlight. No biggie. But then I looked in the back, and laying on the hump of the floor was a nylon cord, like a ski rope, the braided type, and it was white.
Yeah.
I remember talking to him, and he didn't seem to be intimidated, as I might be. He was just as calm as he could be. He identified himself. He said he was a talent scout. And I asked him what he was doing out there, and he said that there were two sisters. One was Cheryl Johnson, that he had a meeting with the next morning around 9 or 10. They lived in Spanish Trace apartments. And that he was out trying to find their address so that he wouldn't be late for the appointment. That just didn't make any sense. It just didn't ring true. I talked to him while the other agents and the police were searching his car. And I had no more for him. And so I allowed him to leave.
So they let him go that night. The authorities don't arrest him. They just question him because really nobody's sort of seen him do anything. And they don't have any evidence of anything other than that they heard that splash.
A lot of people have questioned why I did that. But to not let him go would have been placing him under arrest, and I didn't think we had enough at that time. And to this day, I still don't. Because I got out and I asked somebody, where's the stuff you got out of his car? And they said, we didn't take anything or didn't keep it. And I went, what? And I didn't quite understand that.
The car's full of junk and stuff. It's like a ward car. But they don't confiscate any of this stuff. And they just sort of, they sent him on his way. But on May 24th, 2 days after the stop on the bridge, a body appears in the Chattahoochee, like right down from that spot where that incident had happened 2 nights earlier.
We found another body. And I said, okay. It was south of the James Jackson Bridge. Here we go.
We meet on the banks of the river. It's a Sunday afternoon and look at one another and said, Wayne's got a problem.
The body found on May 24th, 1981, is quickly identified as Nathaniel King. At 27 years old, King was no child, but like many of the most recent victims, he'd been asphyxiated and dumped in the river.
The medical examiner says the latest victim died of asphyxiation like 28 other victims.
Findings similar to the other victims were found on his body.
Yeah, I ain't number 19.
Stopped on the bridge nearby just 2 nights before.
I ain't number 19. I told mom then said, tell her I'm 19, she ain't gonna fuck with me. I was born in 1986.
The FBI and the police task force put together a surveillance team with the idea that Wayne wouldn't get out of their sight 24/7. He knew we were there, so it wasn't like it was a covert surveillance. It was extremely overt, to the point that everybody basically set up in the front of his house.
We wanted him to know he was under constant surveillance. If he's likely to be the person responsible for these homicides, we certainly don't want him to commit another one.
While the FBI keeps the Williams family home under close watch, investigators delve into Wayne's background.
The Williamses were long-time school teachers.
No bodies and then watch
They had
them,
a profile in the community, and
Man, how many pies I got?
been involved in anything like this.
I thought I had one other pie.
Very nice people.
You ate my other pie?
Worked and they had a house they owned. They took care of their son. They seemed like a nice family.
The profilers came pretty close. You know, a single male, most likely black, lives with his parents, 23 to 25 years old, highly educated. Wayne checks all the boxes.
At the time, Wayne was looking to break into the music industry. He was a producer. He was out in a lot of different cities.
His goal was to try to find the next Jackson 5, and that he was looking for youngsters to audition and take to the studio so that he could form this crew.
He has a shortwave radio station for a period of time and would be trying to attract young musical talent.
Of course, you know, all young kids who think they can sing want to be performers.
But investigators soon learned that not only has Wayne's music career failed, it's bankrupted his parents and forced him to work a variety of odd jobs.
He had been a cameraman, and he took late night fire footage to sell to the television stations. He's known to police and law enforcement as kind of a police fire groupie.
Wayne would get there quick enough before the TV stations did, and he would get some footage before the bodies were moved.
Wayne Williams had an old police car. He put the blue lights back in with scanners.
And this was what relates back to John Douglas's profile, that he was going to be an ambulance chaser, very aware of the media.
This guy seemed to be, by all indications, the guy that they were looking for.
On June 3rd, 1980, the FBI brings Wayne Williams in for questioning, while agents execute search warrants on the Williams home and vehicles. Fiber expert Larry Peterson is called to the scene. He analyzed thousands of fibers collected from victims of the killings, with a focus on 3 varieties that kept reappearing: a rare green trilobo fiber, a violet acetate fiber, and a German Shepherd dog hair.
When I arrived at the house, it was already dark. It was a medium-sized house in what appeared to be a middle-class neighborhood. Went in through the carport entrance. As soon as I walked into the bedroom, I saw the wall green carpet. I have a German Shepherd, and there's a bedspread in the suspect's bedroom that has a violet acetate. So I collected some loose green carpet fibers. I spoke with Al Dedman, who's the FBI trace guy that was working on the case. I told him that I want to take these to the lab because we both thought it was awful intriguing that all these potential elements were in this one location. So I knew that if it was the right fiber, I'd know right away. So I went back to the lab,
mounted the green carpet fiber sample from Williams' home, and put it on the microscope. And it was instantaneous. Like, after 9 months of searching, Peterson is convinced he's found a single source for all three. Wayne Williams' house.
Holy cow.
There it is.
What?
While the city braces itself for another murder, Atlanta detectives are closing in on their suspect. The fiber evidence they found in Wayne Williams' house not only places Nathaniel Cater in Wayne's environment, it also connects Williams to other victims, including Jimmy Ray Payne, a 21-year-old who, like Cater, was found downriver from the Jackson Parkway Bridge. And even as the search of his house continues, Wayne is taken to the FBI headquarters downtown.
We got information that they got matches on the carpet fiber from the house with the victims. That was about 1 o'clock in the morning. That was big.
So they brought Wayne and got him out for a polygraph. I asked him direct questions. Did you cause the death of Nathaniel Cater? No. Did you throw his body in the river that night? No. I saw the reactions occurring, so I ran a chart. And I said, well, I'll be darned. You're the guy we're looking for.
Wayne says, first of all, polygraphs aren't admitted in court. Secondly, they're not reliable after you've been intensely interviewing a person. All you're doing is measuring the stress that's already there.
So he knew polygraph enough to discuss it. And he wanted to see the charts. So I spread them out. I said, what's that question? I said, this shows that you actually caused the death of Nathaniel Cater.
Well, if you fail the polygraph, I said, whoa. We pretty much knew we had the right guy.
He's walking around the office, saying, you guys don't have anything on me. If you did, we wouldn't be talking. I'd be in handcuffs. He just kind of confirmed that this guy is, a different kind of personality.
But we couldn't charge him with anything because there was no federal law violated. The DA, didn't have enough evidence. So we had to let him walk.
Wayne Williams is the FBI's key person of interest in Atlanta's crime of the century. But the day after failing the polygraph, instead of keeping a low profile, he calls a press conference.
This was so weird because he had not been named as a suspect. And so the television cameras didn't show him. They showed the reporters' faces on camera, interviewing this disembodied voice.
They openly said, you killed Nathaniel Cater, and you know it, and you're lying to us.
He passes out his resume, which claims he flew F-15 fighter jets, and was a race car driver, and just incredible stuff, all of which is fabrication.
He seemed to be under the impression that this will all pass and people will see that these guys have got this whole thing wrong. I'm not even sweating it.
He believed that once they started questioning him, you guys know it's not me, because if it were me, folks would have seen me. Everybody in the community knows me. Everybody knows who Wayne is.
He blended in perfectly. And why did he blend in perfectly? Because he lives in that community.
The local politicians all knew Wayne Williams. The police all knew Wayne Williams. And we had random roadblocks. He came upon one of these roadblocks and went right through. And so we stopped the police guys and we said, wait a minute, you didn't stop that car in front of us. They said, oh yeah, we looked into this Wayne Williams. Okay? So Wayne Williams moved very easily throughout the community, and it was surprising to see how fluid this movement was.
With the entire city desperate for a suspect, a press leak reveals Wayne's identity, making him the face of the Atlanta child murderers.
So we're all out in front of Wayne's house, and he'd come out and he'd kind of convince with the reporters.
During that time period, we're gathering all the evidence that we can about this because we didn't want to be grabbing some guy and then say, oh, whoops, we got the wrong guy. They knew it was going to be front page news. Everybody was being extremely cautious.
The district attorney, Louis Slayton, didn't want to arrest him without having enough evidence.
Slayton was concerned with the 5 rims because it was a linchpin type of evidence historically.
Meanwhile, that very week, on June 13th, it just happened that there was a gathering of fiber experts in Atlanta at the State Crime Lab, some of the best fiber experts in North America. And they looked at some of the fibers and said, this is unbelievable. These are extremely significant fibers.
All these scientists told me that it is highly, not only unlikely, but improbable for all of these to come together in one place.
So then on the 21st, Slayton said, okay, let's arrest him.
They arrested him on Father's Day, 1981. They went out, sent a bunch of sheriff's deputies, rounded him up, arrested him, and that was it.
23-year-old Wayne Williams was taken into custody at his Northwest Atlanta house.
That was probably the first time that you actually had like a somewhat of a collective exhale.
Williams showed no emotion as he was taken to Atlanta's Fulton County Jail.
1 year and 11 months after the first murder, the image of Wayne Williams in handcuffs brings a sigh of relief to some, but to others, a haunting memory.
The guy who they showed on TV, who they had just arrested, was the same guy who was in Thomasville Heights apartment that night. The same guy who stared at me and Miss William made down. That was him. I think he was still wearing the same outfit, I think. Same messy afro, same glasses, same stupid smug look on his face.
They showed him on TV. I said, Mama, that's him. She said, who? I said, Mama, that's the cotton-can man. No one framed us about it.
Wayne Bertram Williams is his name. Now, I had a name.
You gonna warm this up?
That let me know then that I was extremely lucky because I was still here and my brother wasn't.
Police arrest Wayne Williams on June 21st, 1981. Yet they only charge him with 2 of the murders on the list, Jimmy Ray Payne and Nathaniel Cater. Both were found under the bridge where Wayne was stopped and are tied to him with strong fiber evidence. But both of them are adults.
There was such a distrust of the police, this feeling that, you know what, it's convenient that you blame a black man.
Turn it on and get the house warm for a little bit.
One of 2 things. Either they really got somebody that's doing this.
I'm just saying. I know what it is. That their breaker thing is loose.
Tell her about, now we got this guy who they say killed.
I don't know what I do. I'm going to have to put paper right there. Put the light so I put paper right there before.
Come on.
Dull, sharing sunshine for John.
Go, come on.
Pass it on.
It came on before.
With this one little neck scar chew comes power, confidence, reassurance you are doing what's right to protect your dog from fleas and ticks for a full month. This one little neck scar chew is the #1 vet recommended protection, and it's the only chew FDA approved to prevent infections that cause
Well, eat your own stuff.
Plus, it's safe for puppies.
Eat your own stuff.
There's a lot of power.
So.
This one little neck scar chew. Neck scar, what one little chew can do.
Date night at DQ with their amazing new chicken and waffle salad.
Chicken strips.
Savory.
Sweet.
And your daughter. I love our daughter.
What?
Thank you. Happy tastes good. What is Haven like?
What's that?
My head banging.
Family first.
Eat. You gotta eat something.
I did.
You ain't ate nothing. Where your food at?
I ate my burger.
Life insurance is actually simple. Pringles wavy
All right.
with a big new crunch and totally different flavors. They're not really Pringles.
Just like that's not really Daddy.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
New Pringles Wavy. They're not Pringles.
When the world is watching and you need your logo to be perfect, you need certainty. At 4imprint, we give you the ultimate guarantee. Because when something has your logo on it, it matters. To you, your customers.
What? Got some meat, Huh? You got plenty of meat on there.
I'm talking about, got me a buck.
The novel and noteworthy items the world has to offer.
A deer? I just shot 2 of them with a bow and arrow. I told them just the carbon monoxide effect.
For narrow or something?
Yeah, they gonna look at me like I had headlights on. Like, what the fuck you looking at? Ain't no lights on. You got oh, never mind. Thank you.
All roads led back to one person. Killing time. All noon. Thursday at 10. Only on Investigation Discovery.
We have generations that live here, so their roots are deep.
It's the last place you would expect anything to happen.
911, where's your emergency? I don't know what this is. There's blood everywhere. Oh, God.
I dropped to my knees. I just couldn't believe it.
Things don't happen like that here.
News travels fast, fear travels fast as well.
There's a lot of things I can forget. I know that. Murder in the Heartland, home season. Next Sunday at 9. Only on ID and ID Go.
It was an incredible story. Everybody around the world wanted to know what has happened to Madeline.
Madeline McCann disappeared while her family were just steps away. Kate McCann raced out of the apartment screaming, "Madeline's gone, Madeline's gone." Police wondered who Kate meant when she said they have taken Madeline. Is someone withholding some important information?
Madeline McCann, an ID murder mystery. Only special tonight at 9 on ID and ID Go.
After almost 2 years of terror, Atlanta has its child killer in custody. But as Wayne Williams is charged with murdering 2 adults, many still wonder if they've got the right guy.
The news was running with it every day. The atmosphere was kind of like a carnival or a circus.
Media coverage was like nothing I had seen before or since. They were from all over the world.
On the 22nd of July, 1981, Judge Clarence Cooper is selected at random to preside over the trial. Working under D.A. Lewis Slayton, the state's prosecution team is led by Jack Mallard.
Jack Mallard was our best examiner of witnesses. Gordon Miller was going to be the main fiber guy. I was the head of the appellate division, so I was going to be the law guy.
Defending Wayne Williams is veteran criminal attorney Al Binder, and a former city solicitor taking on her first murder trial.
Mary Welcome, Wayne's main defense attorney, talked about Wayne, that he was not capable of these kind of heinous crimes.
Our one and only defense is that Wayne is not guilty of killing anybody.
On January 6, 1982, 8 black and 4 white jurors are sworn in to hear the case.
Attorneys arrived at the courthouse yesterday for the double murder trial of Wayne Williams. Opening statements were expected to be the highlight.
We was there every day. It was just like jam-packed. And they got this little black boy.
Oh, that was the dude. I thought that was a damn woman.
As the case is beginning, we have this man on trial for the murder of these 2 adults, but we've been talking for a year and a half now about the missing and murdered children. So, how are you going to convince the jury that this is something that
Yeah, almost fast.
The prosecution wants to introduce
Williams
to 10 additional
Picked out
You did.
representative sample from the beginning of the spree
What are you doing?
killing by serial
What are yours?
What happened?
Where yours
The
at?
judge allowed the prosecution to invoke the prior bad acts doctrine.
Where my other
There's a
pipe?
general principle that if something is just being put in to show if the guy's a bad guy, you can't that
The one that eat last night.
crimes that are so intertwined and similar in ways that proof of one shows proof of another, they are admissible.
But I always thought it was 2 burgers on here.
It was at that moment that the actual Atlanta child murders case entered the courtroom.
With Judge Cooper allowing evidence of 10 additional murders, the state deals a major blow to Wayne's defense, putting him on trial for crimes that he was never charged
I'm
with.
disappointed.
But while prosecutors are now free to build their case around complex fiber evidence,
I eat that
the
later.
jury is ill-equipped to understand it. So we knew that
displays would be very important to actually draw a picture of here's how all this stuff fits together.
Yeah, fuck that. I ain't putting no more grocery shopping off. Take your head a little up there, get this shit over with.
There are all these variations, meaning fiber that can be identifiable, particularly for
Like
fiber.
I did the washing. So if I don't, you gonna spend all on candy, cereal, and milk.
Carpets and fibers look like under a microscope, and here's what individual cartoon sources
I'm giving it away. I ain't had no pork chops. I want some fried. I want something fried. I ain't had nothing fried in so long.
These other victims, kind of fibers are all over the case. To Wayne's environment.
I hope like hell that they have more than fiber. I hope like hell.
But we got a deep fry.
It's just a matter of looking at something under a microscope and saying, well, this thing looks enough like this thing that they could have come from the same source. And I thought it was very subjective.
To me, it's objective. You're doing this in a systematic scientific way. It's not just a random visual thought.
There are carpet mills
Where my ashtray at? In my top chair.
and so it's not uncommon for there to be carpet fibers in the Chattahoochee River.
The prosecution team hangs their case on the fibers. But no matter how strongly they argue in court, it's still circumstantial evidence.
Wayne Williams certainly didn't admit that he had done anything that was criminal. Nobody saw him do anything that was criminal. There was no direct evidence that Wayne Williams was guilty.
This was a circumstantial case built on hairs and fibers. John Douglas, who was one of the
Man, you ain't got nothing else to do you?
sat in the court.
Go in the front room or something.
We're losing this case. The jury doesn't understand.
Where the razor at?
Too technical and complicated. Bilobate, trimobile, statistical, and all that. They don't understand.
It's 1:30. Every 2 years we waited. Later on.
The world's first six-function multi-pro tailgate, available only in the next generation GMC Sierra.
For 50 years, Cracker Barrel has been making folks feel right at home with meals like home-style country fried steak Grandma's sample, and our signature chicken dumplings. So come on home to what you love. Come on home to Cracker Barrel.
Finally, something that works.
Helps all my digestive problems.
My immune system says thank you.
People don't just say this about any probiotic. Cultura promotes digestive balance and immune defense with the proven probiotic. It's #1 for a reason. Remember the way we used to do things? Or connect with friends.
Or get in shape. Or sell a house. And pay a real estate agent a big commission. At Redfin, our listing fee is as low as 1%. And because Redfin.com is
I ain't getting no bad people
our agents get more eyes on your home. So you sell for thousands more than the one next door.
Thank you,
Thank you. Sell with a Redfin agent.
I can see shoes that young
I'm
been discarding.
We needed a specialist.
I'm going to call up to him.
A lot of serial killers like to keep mementos. That was a shocking find.
It's our feeling that we've had a serial killer on his first victim.
The Face of Evil all-new series premieres Thursday, April 10, only on ID and ID Go.
Yep, play all the time.
To have to relive their tragedies, but it is so important that victims' voices aren't silenced.
Who? Who? Nah, they get they just, you know, I guess he almost at the end of his time, so he might be dead. So they probably trying to spend as much time they can together. Huh? Nah, he got that walker. He's pushing the walker now. But he ain't gonna make it too long though. You can tell. And then her none talking sounded like Russian.
I let him go. Kill Jordan too.
As the state pushes to convict Wayne Williams for murder, prosecutors know that crime
yeah, park up here, got the car, walk back.
That's crazy.
But by bringing in dozens of charges, they hope to reveal who they believe is the real Wayne Williams.
So we got odd time to still be driving, forget.
Why would he kill this black man? As a black man himself, what would be his motivation?
This witness, Robert Lee Tolan, claimed that Williams despised, quote, lower-class blacks, and once proposed how by eliminating young black males, one could
Where, Louisiana? Not really.
In Wayne's case, he felt like other people were making him a villain at night. And that was poor black kids who were out on the street at night.
According to the testimony, he had expressed contempt for some of these kids. One of the witnesses talked about him bragging sort of offhandedly how he knew how to kill a kid with just a touch of his hands.
Defense attorneys are quick to point out that, with his 5'7" stature, Wayne could never have overpowered the young men he's accused of killing, let alone dump their bodies off a bridge single-handedly.
If you're going to be murdering people right and left, you need to have some strength to do that. Wayne, he was a little overweight and punchy. His hands were very soft.
Straight kill him.
He had physical strength.
He got y'all fooled.
I was very suspicious about that characterization of what may have happened out there on that bridge. Forensic pathologist on the state said the cater had no broken bones. There were no abrasions on his body. So Wayne would have had to stop the car, gotten a dead body, which is a hard thing to handle physically, and get the body across the banister and drop it in there without scratching it or anything. this just seemed impossible to me. The prosecution team was just going at every possible speculative angle that they could to try to discredit Wayne Williams.
The uniqueness of the bridge, because it has a very narrow sidewalk and a very low rail, allowed a vehicle to be able to pull up right next to it, very, very close to the railing, so the body could be moved very easily from the back of the station wagon onto the railing without ever having to lift the body up. It was very easy. So, although Wayne Williams could not have done this, he could very easily have done it.
Really like the Holden.
In his statement to the FBI, Wayne claimed he was crossing the bridge to locate a young singer named Cheryl Johnson. But numerous contradictions came up, ranging from where she lived to whether she even existed. In the 8th week of the trial, he would get a chance to correct the record.
One of the central questions from the outset was whether or not the defense would put Wayne on the witness stand. The speculation among some of us in the press corps was that if he says believably that I didn't do this, he might help his case. There were other people who thought, no way should Wayne take the stand because
I told him to take me up there later.
Pros and cons
breakfast.
And he understood the risk that he was taking, but he chose to take it.
Which didn't surprise us based on the information we had from the behavioral science unit of the FBI. Because they had said he won't be able to resist. He's going to want to show that he's smarter than you are. That's one of the reasons he's committing these crimes.
Defense attorneys hope that a Deep South jury will want to hear from Wayne in person. And if they warm to his personality, it could not only swing the case in his favor, but turn the tide of public opinion.
Wayne is going to take the stand, because it was electrifying.
First day of Wayne's testimony, everybody wanted to be there and see what he said. So it was very dramatic when he took the stand. He was smooth, tiny. He sounded like a person who could answer the sunrise from the west. He was a loving person. We were having questions.
I'm looking like, how the fuck they get up there?
By taking the stand,
they came from the top and come back.
Was a decisive win. But prosecutor Jack Mallard has one last trick up his sleeve.
Mr. Mallard's tactic was to try to make a witness angry and lose his judgment. I cautioned Mr. Williams about that.
What the FBI told us was serial killers are good in the short run. They're not good in the long run. And they said, keep them honest as long as you can. What we did was go through all the same questions they were for. We knew he could not answer them without getting all crossed up. His answers would conflict with each other.
Oh, not him. Now he brought another nigga when we getting that loud up here. Him over always stay. He stayed down here. The little short dude. They connect. They grew up together, man. And now the person that was singing them, that was sitting that loud, was already in Cali. That's one of his other partners.
Called the police to Keystone cops.
That's the nigga he got.
He said, I'm not answering any more of these questions. You can't make me, keep asking the same questions over and over again. He was very animated, very agitated.
You were kind of taken aback because it was so sharp.
That's when he said, you want the real Wayne Williams, you've got it. He blew up.
Wayne literally frightened the courtroom.
The jury saw, for the first time, real Wayne Williams.
Well, that's just part of the peril of taking the witness stand.
And he went back to the defense table. He just kind of slumped and he began to sort of weep quietly there.
Williams had been broken by Mr. Mallard.
Mallard talked about this dual personality, this Jekyll and Hyde, quiet and composed one moment, and the next moment exhibit this fright a rage.
Prior to that, he was this timid person. The jury couldn't conceive of him committing all these crimes. And once he got on the stand, it showed the kind of anger that they hadn't seen before. And they said, this guy could do that.
Hey, I set up the thermostat. Getting all digital with that thermostat. You deserve the sweet reward of a diet, Dr. Pepper.
That is sweet.
Is it hot in here, or is it just a little sweet?
It's definitely hot.
That is hot. Diet Dr. Pepper. It's a sweet one.
Sometimes, bipolar 1 disorder can make you feel like you have no limits. But mania, such as unusual changes in your mood, activity, or energy levels, can leave you on shaky ground. Help take control by asking your healthcare provider about Vraylar. Vraylar treats acute mania of bipolar 1 disorder. Vraylar significantly reduces overall manic symptoms and was proven in adults with mixed episodes who have both mania and depression. Vraylar should not be used in elderly patients with dementia due to increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. High cholesterol and weight gain, high blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, decreased white blood cells, which can be fatal, dizziness upon standing, falls, seizures, impaired judgment, sensitivity, and trouble swallowing may occur. You're more than just your bipolar 1. Ask about Vraylar.
Nothing can prepare you to hear those words, breast cancer. We thought that we would travel to cancer treatment centers in America. We left on day 1 feeling like we're going to beat this, and that feeling is priceless.
Visit cancercenter.com.
What are you watching? Let me talk.
Yep. Ready to head back when you are.
Come on, then. Let's head back. Nice work, Arthur. Should be enough meat here to keep us all fed for a few days.
Oh, watch it.
You found him.
I knew you'd be okay with that bow.
It's easier when they ain't shooting back.
We've seen enough of that.
Considering how things were looking a couple of days back, well, maybe our luck's finally on the turn.
Seems to me we should be putting our effort into getting off this mountain now.
Soon. People are still weak, and well, you've seen how snowed in those wagons are. They ain't going nowhere until we get some more thaw.
You're probably right. And even if we do get off here, what then? We still have a big price on our heads.
This is a big country. We'll find somewhere to lie low. Dutch and Jose will have a plan. You notice how Pearson's had a bottle in his hand ever since we fled Blackwater?
We give the camp cook 5 minutes to grab the essentials and go. And he doesn't even bring a crumb of food.
We need to get there. Come on. Now stay with me, please.
So, you were saying?
Good that we caught more than one. We've only been up here a few days and have already picked up 2 more mouths to feed.
1 more. We ain't feeding the O'Driscoll a damn thing. Except maybe that can of salted offal Pearson was kind enough to give us.
The girl. She has a wild look in her eye.
Of course. She lost her husband, her home, everything she had.
So what do we do with her?
Well, once we get out of here and we're back on our feet, we'll see. She might have family somewhere.
Who knows? Maybe she'll deal with the O'Driscoll for us.
Well, I know who my money's on in that fight. He's weak, but that makes him much more useful. Maybe we can get to them before they get to us.
What is it with the O'Driscolls?
You ain't dealt with them? Yeah, I suppose we ain't run into them much the last 6 months. I guess because they've been over this way.
Nah, I've heard a lot of talk about them.
Well, we've been scrapping over scores with them for years. Big gang. Nasty sons of bitches. Their leader, Combe, and Dutch go way back. And not in a good way. A proper blood feud.
So I heard. Let's go. Before any more bad weather comes in.
Yep.
Watch out! Bear up ahead. Let's see if we can find another way around. You must be real hungry. Stay well back. Spring storms like this are the worst for animals that sleep all winter.
Arthur, where are you going? Hell, back! What are you doing? Shoot!
Arthur, you awake back there? Yeah. Thinking. We ain't ever talked that much, you and me. How long you been with us now?